Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and I like to talk about anime, Korean dramas, books, and fashion. So if you are into any of that, then stick around. I have a bunch of people staying with me for the holidays, so I haven't really had time to film any of the holiday book content that I want to now that I'm on my break from grad school, but I thought it would be fun to do the Booktube Newbie Tag and sort of introduce myself to the Booktube community and see if there was a little space for me there. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? And I've had this YouTube channel on and off for years. I've tried to find like the right thing that I want to do. I've always loved watching YouTube and I love vlogs, and so I started trying to do it more consistently while I was living in Japan, and it didn't end up working. I wasn't super confident about filming out in public, and I just didn't feel like it was the thing for me. But I love books. I love talking about books, and some of my friends are readers, but not too many. So I thought maybe having this as like a void to scream my thoughts about books into would be kind of fun. And I've always wanted to do some kind of YouTube thing on the side. So I thought maybe that could be fun. So I'm trying again, and I'm gonna actively try to do this time. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you will bring to Booktube? I guess just my perspective. I'm not quite sure like fun and unique things other than just me. I think the more comfortable I get doing this, you'll see more of my personality, and that can be a fun, unique thing. I think I'm kind of unique and some might say weird. So yeah, other than that, I don't have like anything quirky that I can necessarily bring. The third question is, what are you most excited for with this channel? I think the thing that I am most excited for with this channel is to be able to, like I said, have a place to talk about books when maybe my friends aren't necessarily reading this book, and maybe meet some other people who like reading, or to be able to just talk about similar books that we're reading. Building that kind of community, as well as I want to hold myself accountable, both for the books that I am reading, but as also with starting this YouTube thing and actually keeping up with it. It's been something I've wanted to do on and off since I was in college, and I've just have never done it. And so I'm kind of hoping that this can be a point of accountability for myself. The next question is, why do you love reading? I was a big reader when I was younger, always was reading as a little kid, and I kind of fell off of it when I was in college, and then when I graduated, I just was working like crazy and I didn't really have the time. And in the last, like since June, I have been actively reading again, and it's been such a nice escape from things. And it's a nice way for me to spend the last like hour or two of my night not on my phone, which is a goal of mine, to not start my morning and not end my day by being on my phone. So I really like that I can now do that with reading, and I just overall really love like hearing people's stories that they've come up with and seeing the characters that they build. I think that it's really fun to see inside someone's like imagination and see what they come up with. What book series got you into reading? Okay, well, if we're going all the way back when I was a little kid, I loved like the Pony Pals and books like that when I was really little. But the book that got me back into reading right now was actually Anna Huang's The Twisted series, and I didn't think I was gonna like that as much as I did. And that kind of just sent me down a rabbit hole of book talk and book Instagram and growing a massive TBR that I didn't think I was gonna ever get, but here we are. And I don't see the end of it ever being in sight because I just constantly am adding more books to it. What's your question for your favorite booktubers? Ooh, I don't know if I really have a question. I have a couple of booktubers that I really like, and I'll put their names over here, but I feel like I'm just getting into the world of booktube, so I guess my question for them would be, who are your other favorite booktubers to watch? And if anyone wants to recommend more booktubers, I would absolutely love that. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? Again, like I said at the beginning, I think just consistently sticking with this YouTube thing will be hard. I have so many ideas. It's just a matter of finding the time and quiet to film, and then also being consistent with it. And so I feel like for me, even if nobody watches these, I'm gonna do this for me because it's something that I really want to stick with and stick to this time, and I am determined to do it. When did you start reading? The chunk of reading that I've been doing right now, I started in about end of June, and we are, as of right now, in December, right before Christmas. I believe I am 31 books in, which is big for me. I don't feel like I've read that many books in a really long time. Some of these are for school, they're nonfiction, but they are books that I feel like people would buy on their own. But previously, I guess, again, little kid, I wasn't a big TV, technology, video game kind of kid. It was much more, we're gonna go to the library and check out some books. So yeah. Where do you read? I read everywhere. At night, I read in my bed for the last like hour or two before bed. My classes for grad school are at night, and so they start around 5 o'clock, so I have to leave early to get there to avoid traffic. So I usually have like a half hour where I read in my car waiting for my classes to start. I don't read at my desk. My desk is just specifically for work. I have a chair that I could read in, but as many of you probably have, it is my chair that is covered in stuff that needs to be folded and hung up and put away, so I do not sit and read in that chair. What kind of books do you like to read? I like fantasy, I like romance, I do read some nonfiction, it depends. This is not a part of the question, but like favorite books, maybe I will include. This is probably a sneak peek for my next video, but my two favorite romance books from the year were Done and Dusted and Wildfire. I also like fantasy. I just finished reading the Caraval series, and that was probably my favorite sort of fantasy. And I know that isn't really like super fantasy. I'm putting it in fantasy because it's a whole world and there's magic and things like that. But I think going into 2024, more fantasy books are going to be on my immediate I want to read list. The final question is, what does your book collection look like? So I will put some pictures and videos of my book collection. I currently have one bookshelf, and it is entirely books from when I was in my undergraduate, because a lot of my books were nonfiction. I studied international relations, so it was a lot of biographies and nonfiction books that were really enjoyable that I don't really want to get rid of, but that means there is a lot less space for my current reading collection, so I have to navigate finding space for another bookshelf in this space that I'm in currently. So my books are kind of spread out a little bit all over the place, but I'll put some of like my favorite books and some of the books that I have in my collection. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you stick around. I will soon be sharing my December reading wrap up, as well as some of my favorite 5-star books from the year. And happy holidays and Happy New Year.